What is up, YouTube? PPS back here. Yes, we see a familiar face back. Monotone, how we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm sorry, I don't have quite the highest production value right here on the phone, left camera. So it'll be good. It'll be all sorted out for Friday. But for now, I'll just have to like stare you guys right in the face, get right up in the camera. But we're doing pretty good. Excited to be back. Obviously, I think we got some great plays today. So I'm excited to get back into one of those huge 10-game Wednesday slates. Those are always a blast.
Dude, it's crazy. Pretty much everybody that I love rolling with is on this slate, probably besides John Morant.
Yeah.
He's been one of my guys, but huge slate. Pretty much all superstars in action today. It's really just pick wherever you want to go. I mean, this is one of those slates where if you look too long, you're going to be betting like 17 things, and your bankroll is going to be down pretty low, waiting for some action to come through.
Yep, 100%.
But let's, so we'll go over my recap. Obviously, it was just me last week. Not very good, right, guys? We went 0-3. Desmond Bane fouled out in 20 minutes. Carter got poked in the eye in the third quarter, ended up with 7 rebounds. So easily on pace. And then Allen just decided to just not play the entire third quarter. Like I said, he had 8 rebounds in the first half. No rebounds the entire third. And then they got blown out because it's the Cavs. So last Wednesday was one of my biggest DFS nights of the year. Rozier was still only 5,300. Morant was the top point scorer of the night. So I ended up cashing pretty big, 4X'd my entry. So very happy with that. And, this was unbelievable. This was the biggest one I've hit on stream, NFL or NBA. This ended up making us go 0.4 units positive because I only play these for half a unit. So I ended up cashing 5.5 units on this. And this, dude, that was so easy. That was the worst part about it was like, you'd think that I would like be sweating. Like last night I posted, I had a same game parlay of DeJounte Murray and Paul George. DeJounte Murray hit everything in the first half. Every single thing he needed in the first half. Paul George hit his points and his rebounds early on in the third quarter. And I had the over on both of their 3-point shots made. And Murray was 1 for 2. And George was 2 for 9. So I hit everything except they were both 1 3-point shot short. So when we have one like this where it cashes in the third quarter, it was I almost was like, oh, it was just like a normal bet instead of hitting like a huge plus 1,000. So that was cool to see. That was, like I said, the biggest one of my NBA season so far. Let's check out the chat who's all in here. Keith Betts, what up? Mono, good to see you.
Thank you.
Good to see Monotone PPS as always. Love it. Jax, the guy's always in here. My boy Trevor back in here, ready to roll. I'm very excited. It's going to be a fun slate. I think we both have our very strong opinions on our few guys that we are rolling with. You're going to see a few of these names multiple times throughout the stream. But we'll start out with our smallest plays as always and move our way up. We'll get right on into it. So we'll go with your first one.
Yeah, so this is actually my first rebounds and assists prop of the season. I kind of made a concerted effort to play less of these this season just because you guys know this, how crazy rebounds and assists are in general, right? They flip-flop a lot. So Beal's missed the last couple games due to some family things he had going on. I believe his grandmother passed, but he's back. Obviously, they said no minutes limit. He wasn't injured or anything like that. He's hit this in 4 straight games before he went down. And as you know, Beal is going to be one of those guys that if the game stays relatively close, he plays 35 plus minutes. In a blowout, he plays 30 minutes, right? How many other players in the league can we say that for? And beyond that, too, Charlotte is a top 3 team in pace so far this season. The Wizards have been playing better defense, but they are susceptible to go up tempo from time to time. So the higher the pace, the more shots are being taken, the more opportunities we have for rebounds and assists. Beal traditionally is, a shooting guard, as most of you guys know. He's not kind of known to pass the ball around a lot, but he's been killing this prop this year. I mean, Beal's just like this Wizards system emphasizes ball movement a lot more than last year. So last year we saw him stick to a lot of ISO, mix it up a lot more, just to kind of take it himself. But this year he is looking for the open guys. They have trust on the guys in their perimeter. And yeah, this one just feels a little bit too good to be true. I mean, he's averaging 11.1 on the season. So that's, a whole point over what we need to cash this. We only need 10. Both his rebounds and assists are juiced at 4.5 to like the minus 130 range. So you can see the books are kind of leaning that he will go over on rebounds and assists. All we really need is, a 7 rebound, 3 assist kind of game, or vice versa. He's shown the ability to do this year very easily. And in a game that's one of the more interesting on the slate that I think stays really close, there should be plenty of opportunities for the Wizards superstar to get the job done right here.
Yeah, no, you can definitely see the Wizards actually playing team basketball when we don't have Westbrook on the court. Obviously, you would know this. You're a Washington fan. It's just when you don't have a guy who commands the basketball that much, we're able to see Beal's full game, right? Mostly last year when Beal was playing, he was set up in a shot in the corner or something. Westbrook was getting him open. Where now we get to actually see all the facets of Bradley Beal's game, and he's obviously known for his scoring, but man, this dude does a lot of stuff on the basketball court that really helps his team win. And he's one of those guys that I still feel is underrated, even though he's been an all-star. His all-around game is finally starting to come to fruition, and I really love Bradley Beal. I think he's always too cheap on all DFS sites until he drops that 50 piece. Then he goes way up and then goes right back. He's like 8,800 on FanDuel. Like, that is just way too low. That's like I'm looking right here right now. You're going to tell me James Harden deserves to be 2K more than Bradley Beal? That's just absolutely absurd to me. Bradley Beal is this whole team pretty much. Obviously, you got Kuzma, but been playing good, and Dinwiddie in his absence. But obviously, when Beal's playing, it's the Beal show, and we're going to see that today, I'm sure. I love it. I love the close. I also like the very close spread that we're seeing. I think it's 1, right?
Yeah, it's super close. It's kind of fluctuated, but yeah, super close. Another thing, too, is when you put 2 undersized centers, there's going to be more chances for rebounds, right? Gafford and Harrell are both undersized centers. This is always a great matchup for, opposing centers, but Beal will be in there fighting, too, right? That's what the coaches got him this year. He's got them all fighting for rebounds down there. So I think this is just an example of the books not quite catching up to a new role that he has on the team. It's different from last year, but let's hope we can take advantage of it tonight.
Yeah, love that spot. Love to see it. Got a few guys back in here. King has returned. Love to see it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What up, y'all? Smash a like. Thank you, Quinn. Appreciate that. My girl walked into the room and saw Monotone back and threw her panties at the TV.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, on that note, let's get to my first one.
Yep.
I don't think another comment's going to top that one for a bit. So, my first one's going to be Christian Wood over 29.5 points, rebounds over. We have 1.5 unit. If you guys have been following my Twitter free plays, I've been loving these point rebound plays for centers. Obviously, I cashed DeJounte Murray in the first half last night, points, rebounds. It's when I have a play here. I like Christian Wood on points tonight, and I like him on rebounds separately. I liked them both separately. I just couldn't really differentiate which one I like better. So I'm just like, hell yeah, just throw them into both, and I'll add another half unit to it and get there instead of throwing 0.75 on both. Christian Wood on this roster, obviously I fucking hate the Houston Rockets. They cost me so much money last 3 days ago. Ja Morant just absolutely beating the piss out of them. They end up winning by 30. They scored 3 points in 9 minutes to start the third quarter. Ended up going down 40. And then Memphis brings back Jaren Jackson Jr. up 38, the most injury-prone guy in the league. So I won't get into that. That's just me ranting on it. But yeah, Christian Wood here playing Oklahoma City. One of the only times in the entire season I feel like we're going to see Houston only as a 2.5-point dog. I'm seeing 2 some places, and that's huge. It's the same thing as Beal, right? When there's minutes there, it's going to be a close game with them. Obviously, blowouts have screwed them. And this is that buy low spot, right? They've gotten blown out by 30 both last 2 games, and we're only seeing low 20s, mid 20s in minutes for Christian Wood. Now let's go into Oklahoma City here. Oklahoma City's last 4 centers, like true centers. I'm not taking last game when Bam sat and we had Dwayne Dedman. I'm not going to take that. He played like 23 minutes. Like I'm not going to count it there, but we're seeing Rashawn Holmes in 32 minutes, 16 points, 15 rebounds in 32 minutes. Jonas Valanciunas, 39 minutes, 25 points, 15 boards. Go to what's his first name? Eubanks from what's his first name? Eubanks from the
Drew.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Drew Eubanks dropped 14 and 11 on him in 22 minutes. Like, what the fuck, dude? 22 minutes and he has 25. And then our last one is Anthony Davis 4 games ago, went 29 and 18. It's just they have a struggle with centers. Last game they started Robinson Earl at power forward, who was playing center. If you're going to put Robinson Earl on Christian Wood, this is going to be an absolute bloodbath. This man is going to destroy him. He's going to have at least a 3-inch height advantage. Obviously, the reach is going to be pretty big there as well. And we're getting the huge buy low spot. This is usually around 32 to 33. Who are you going to bring in? Mike Muscala? That's going to be their guy. They're going to bring it off the bench to guard Christian Wood. You're going to see Muscala and Isaiah Roby. All right. Christian Wood is going to absolutely annihilate these guys. The only other center on this Houston roster really that they use is Daniel Tice. And when we have Christian Wood, who's that much better, when these games are close, he's 36 minutes. If we're going to get a 2.5-point spread, I think Christian Wood crushes this line. The only reason it's only 1.5 instead of pretty close to a max is because I just hate this Rockets team so much that they could get blown out. That's the only reason. If it stays close, he's going to get close to 40. He's going to get really close to 40.
Yeah, and I don't know if you mentioned, or I don't think you mentioned this, but they played earlier this season, and it was their only win of the season. 1 and 2. Wood had 15 or 16 boards?
16 boards, 34 points, I think it was. Yeah. I mean, he murdered these guys.
Yeah, exactly. When I first started looking at this tonight, the first thing that popped off the screen to me was Christian Wood rebounds, but obviously points and rebounds is in the same vein. And listing off all those guys you did before, I mean, it's kind of obvious with the personnel the Thunder have that they can't rebound, right? Like we already know that. Like you said, they love playing Robinson Earl, who I believe is a second-round rookie, right?
He was great at Villanova. I'm not taking anything away from him, but he is not a center.
Yeah, no, I like Earl, and he's a flexible defender too. He's played some great defensive possessions on James Harden. For those that didn't see those clips, he's playing well, but yeah, that's just, it's the definition of a mismatch right there. I'm not worried about any of the centers. Wood's usage concerns me every once in a while, but like you said, when you flesh it out a little bit more, you can see it's blowouts, right? Those games where he drops 4 rebounds, that's not in a full sample size. That's an unfortunate blowout game. So it just kind of all signs are pointing to this is a team they can actually beat, right? Like finally, this is a team they can actually beat. And I think Wood is their best player. And also Kevin Porter Jr., highest usage player on the court. Yeah, he's questionable. He missed shoot around. When you miss shoot around, you don't play too often. So all the signs are kind of pointing to Wood right here. I would get in on this before that Porter Jr. news kind of bumps it up a couple more points.
Yeah, I think they said questionable, but even if he plays, he sat out the third and fourth quarter of their last game when it happened in the late second. Didn't play the third and fourth. If he does play, I can't imagine it being much because if you get a thigh contusion, if it's a bruise or something, those things don't go away in a day and a half, So I love Christian Wood. I'm still pissed that the Bucks got rid of him. I think he's still an elite player here. And he's really playing for a trade, really is what he's doing right now. Because he
Yep.
came out, said he wanted a trade, but guess what? You're not going to get a trade if you just fucking pout, as you can see with the Ben Simmons stuff. He's going to go out here, put up massive numbers until that trade, then obviously probably lose a ton of usage when he goes to an actual team that's competent on offense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he gets traded, right? When you're a team like the Rockets and you have young assets, I wouldn't trade him. I'd trade away Tice, someone like that, but I probably wouldn't trade Wood. It feels to me like he doesn't get traded.
Yeah, no, that's what I think he asked, right? He asked like last week or something. But I mean, in his mind, if you're playing for a trade, you got to go out there and put up numbers, right?
No, for sure.
I mean, if you trade Wood, he's bringing back a couple first rounders in that case. So, but yeah, all right, that was my first one. Obviously, I really, really like Christian Wood tonight, and we're going to Monotone's favorite guy of the night here.
Yep. So we're going to Trey Young over 24.5 points. I mean, first off, Trey Young did not start off the season too hot, right? He is kind of a lukewarm start to the season. Some people were pointing to foul issues. Other people were kind of, just not too worried about it. But even with the slow start to the season, he's still averaging 25.5 points on the season, which is a full point over this number. He's averaging 26.2 over his last 10 and 27.2 at home so far this season. So yeah, the Hawks, if you guys did not know, I believe they're the only undefeated team at home against the spread, which is good news for Trey Young, because if this team's going to be winning, he's obviously going to play a huge part of it. And beyond that, Trey Young is someone that has been a bit of an inefficient three-point shooter at times in his career. He kind of has runs, but he's definitely on a run right now. His three-point made number is 2.5 right now, and he's actually gone over that number in 6 straight games. So it's kind of clear that his shot is starting to fall a lot more. He's starting to not rely on those free throws maybe as much. He's diversifying his game. So yeah, I love this spot. And now, I just think there's plenty of great opportunities. If you look at his past versus Boston, he's hit this in 6 straight games versus Boston. And 3 of those games were last season, and he went over 30 points in all 3 of those games. So not only did he get this 25 mark, he went over 30 points in all 3 of his games against Boston last year, and then 3 of his games against Boston before that too. So he is clearly kind of a Boston killer at this point in his career, and especially with Robert Williams now out, there's not too much rim protection that I'm worried about here. Horford is a pretty good shot blocker historically, but when you're just going to put Horford by himself down in the paint, I think Trey Young's going to, make some tough decisions right here. I bet he starts off the first quarter with a couple nice dimes to Capella. Maybe the defense overreacts and starts committing a bunch of manpower to Capella, and that's really where Trey Young shines. We see this happen all the time. They're very good at the mid-game adjustments. Like I said, he's blown this out the water. And then just the final cherry on top, Boston's been bad against point guards this season. And now that Jaylen Brown is out, that's another good defender that they have on the outside for the perimeter. Even just look at last game. Ricky Rubio put up 28 points on him last game. And I believe he scored 20 plus. We've seen a point guard score over 20 plus in their last 5 games easily. And most of those games, it's actually been 2 point guards. So this team's guard defense is a bit weak. And I just love Young. Everything's just kind of coming together right here. I love Young.
Yeah, no, I think this is going to be a fun game. Obviously, 2 pretty good teams. I think that Boston probably has the advantage at full strength, but without Jaylen Brown, this should be a pretty competitive game. And yeah, I think that he's going to have a fun night tonight. I would like him more on DraftKings, where they give you a little bit more for the 3-point shot, because I think that this is going to be a pull up deep for Trey game, like where he does his little shimmy and shit.
Yep.
That's what I think this game's going to be. I think it's going to be one of those games where I'm seeing a lot of people on like Horford, and I get that. Yeah. The only reason I think that this isn't going to be a Horford game is it's going to be Tatum and him just going back and forth, and Tatum grabbing all of those fucking rebounds, because it's really always what happens. He tries to pad those stats all the time. And that the only reason I brought that up is because I saw this, and I agree 100% on the Clint Capella one. The value is there for sure on Horford. It's just something just screams to me that this is going to be Trey Young 30 and 10, Tatum like 35, 13 and 2, like something like that. Like
Yeah.
it just those two going back and forth because there's really nobody else for either one of those teams right now. Marcus Smart, super low usage. Horford does not need the ball to be effective. And now you're going to see like Capella, who really only scores when Young gives him the ball. And Collins is not really a super high usage guy either. So this just screams one of those games where those two go at each other. And I think that this is going to be where you're going to start seeing these really high point totals concentrated here for those two guys on DFS side for sure.
Yep. If it wasn't my first day back, this might have even been a bigger play. This might have been 1.5 too. I think Young just crushes them historically, playing great at home. Everything's just lining up right here. He's one of my favorite guys this week or today.
100% agree. It's literally the only thing is what you said in that bottom line is if Tatum decides he wants to be a ball hog on it, which easily could happen.
Yeah, and the other thing too is Tatum is shooting terribly right now, right? I don't know if you've noticed that. So sometimes when players shoot terribly, they kind of overcompensate on other aspects of their game, like rebounding, So it's interesting. The Horford double at plus 400 just feels like a trap, man. That just doesn't feel right at all. So I think you might be onto something right here.
Yeah, no, guys, doing this as long as we have been doing this. If the line screams that way, guess what?
Yeah.
There's something wrong with it. There's no way Vegas is going to throw that out there in your face. That's 4-1. 4-1? Like, oh, man. It's just and if they do decide to switch, which is usually what happens, right? They're going to switch Horford out to Trey Young on those. He ain't grabbing no rebounds. How's he going to grab a rebound? That's why I said centers on centers is when you grab the rebounds, right? That's what we always look for. We look for a guy that's going to be down in the paint. Quinn Capella and Trey Young run that pick and roll to perfection. He runs it great with freaking Collins too. It's just I don't see Horford being down there for those boards, and I like it, but no, I definitely it's worth a sprinkle for sure. We'll get to one question before my last one here. Any thoughts on Kuzma over 7.5 rebounds? He loves over 2.5 3-point. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people posting about the 2.5 3-pointers. Plus money is insane for that.
Yeah, Kuzma's interesting, right? As a Washington fan, I like the pace up spot, but it's kind of hard for me to say. I would lean over personally, but I just feel like this is a fair number. Like this is probably where his number should lay at for the next little bit, despite his performance. It's a hard stat to predict, right? I said this at the beginning. I try to limit my kind of rebound betting outside of centers, So maybe with Beal back, we see less Montrezl Harrell, which means we see more Daniel Gafford, who tends to box out a little bit more than Harrell, who goes for those boards. So I think we could see a slight uptick, but I'm just not passionate either way about Kuzma. 7.5 feels right to me.
Yeah, for sure. At the beginning of the year, dude, his numbers were just stupid. How is he? His rebounding rate was over 20%, and he's a small forward. Obviously, that you talked about it before. Having small centers really does help. And they were running really small. Gafford, I mean, obviously a lot of that is obviously because Gafford is the most foul-prone man I've ever seen in NBA history. That dude fouls faster than anyone I've ever seen. So when he's out, Harrell's been going off lately. DFS, he's been slate crushing. That's how good he's been. So be curious how that game goes. I think it'll be a fun one.
Yeah, also earlier in the year, they were playing like Bertans at the 5 a little bit when Gafford was out. Like they were running some real small lineups. Now the full allotment of centers are back, so it's a little harder for Kuzma to grab them. Also Advia's been playing really well off the bench. He's another rebounder. It's a tough spot for him. I see why you like it though. I understand. It's appealing for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's get to my last one of the day. I find a way to play this man every single show. I swear to God, he finds a way. 3 out of 4 shows he's made my show plays. And I just love this matchup here. We have a great total against the Kings tonight. Great pace. 227.5 total. I believe that's highest on the slate, pushing the Washington Charlotte one. I think they're 224.5. A 2.5 point spread here. Sacramento's ranked is the 9th worst team in defensive efficiency here and has a very tough time with centers, right? Towns is, I don't even know if I call him a true center because this man can pop out. He's had multiple games. I think it's 3 times in the last 7 games that he's hit 5 threes. This man finds a way to pull you out, and I do not think Holmes is going to be able to play on him. This is a game where Luke Walton fucks everybody and pulls Holmes after like 20 minutes because he's getting absolutely cooked, right? I think Towns runs him off the floor. I really think he does. I don't think he's got enough lateral quickness to stay with Towns, and I don't think he's going to be able to stay out on the outside because you have Anthony Edwards slashing. You need that rim protection, and Towns is a guy you can't do that against. I like, again, the reason why I'm taking points and rebounds is because I loved both. If I would take both of them for one unit, but I'd rather just throw them together at 1.5, and I think I get better value on it, honestly. They're going to give me minus 110 here. 24.5 points is his line at plus 100 to the over. 10.5 rebounds, minus 130 to the over as well. I think that we're going to get a town ceiling night here. If this stays within 10, we're going to have a fun night here for Karl Anthony Towns. This is 4-2 in his last 6, not counting 20-point games, because the Wolves have been susceptible because they play so fast to the blowouts. They've had multiple 20-point wins. They've had multiple 20-point losses. When you play this fast, the points come so much quicker, so much easier to get to blowout numbers here. The pace is there. Volume's been there. And I think the biggest thing here, too, is D'Angelo Russell comes back. Everyone's like, Towns is going to not do anything. D'Angelo Russell is a true point guard. He is playing a true point guard position now with Anthony Edwards in that shooting guard role. Before Anthony Edwards was there, it would not be surprising to see Russell shoot 20 times in a game, right? With him and Towns is going off. But Russell has had his last 4 games, 6 assists, 7 assists, 4, and then 7 again. So if Russell's going to be that open to passing, I love this even more for Towns. I think his points is way too low. I love Towns tonight. And like I said, Holmes is not going to be able to match up with him. I just do not see a way that he is able to stay with Cat when he is on the outside. If one of the first 3 3-pointers for Towns goes in, it's going to be a long night for Rashawn Holmes.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, right? Because Holmes obviously can't stick with him at the 3-point line, so he'll do what most centers do is he'll drop back, and he'll let him take the shot if he wants it. Like you said, if he hits one of them early, that's fine. If his shot isn't there, though, the other great thing is he's bigger and stronger than Rashawn Holmes, right?
Yep.
So if he needs to work in the paint, if Anthony Edwards also isn't having a great shooting night or whatever, however the game goes, he'll work him in the paint, right? He's a lot bigger and probably stronger too. So it's a tough matchup for Holmes, right? I am not a Rashawn Holmes fan. Not that I don't think he's a good player, but the guy can barely stay in the games. This could be a 10-plus free throw attempt game for Karl Anthony Towns right here. Holmes loves fouling, just like you said with Gafford before. I mean, Holmes is the classic letdown guy in spots that make sense. And this spot makes sense for Holmes to have a pretty good game. So obviously he's not going to have one. It's just perfect, those situations. And yeah, like you said, he's one of the higher usage players in the league. He commands a lot of attention on that offense. And it's just a great spot. We have a close game, highest total on the slate. You guys know what that means. We love attacking these players in these high total games, especially because, honestly, they don't come by too often anymore, right? We're not really hitting the high 220s that much anymore. Most of these games are the low 200s. So Vegas clearly thinks we're getting a lot of points right here, and Karl Anthony Towns has to be a big part of that.
Yeah, isn't it crazy that we're used to seeing 238, 239 totals? Now 227 is a fucking huge total. That's huge. You don't even see 227 ever anymore. But yeah, we have our 2 plays both locked in. Make sure you lock those in, guys. Let's go to some questions here, and then we'll get ready to roll into some DFS numbers and our long shots. Thoughts on some unders here. Garland under 20.5 points and Harden under 21.5 points. Any thoughts on those?
I haven't looked too much in the Cavs game specifically, but for Harden, I do like that. I guess that is the game, sorry. But for Harden specifically, I hadn't looked at Garland too much. It's obviously a tougher defensive matchup. Number 1, he's kind of off the back-to-back. Number 2, doesn't this kind of feel like a game where Harden sleepwalks through? he ends up with like 16 points for like 9 assists and like 5 rebounds. He was on a huge game last night, nationally televised. He was okay. They took a tough loss. This just feels like a real like low tempo, like low scoring game, possibly blowout implication. I like the Harden under. I was definitely eyeing that one up before the show.
Yeah, I would definitely say the Harden under screams a little bit more to me. Garland without Sexton, without Allen, without Mobley, and now has a true point guard to take his assists away. That one kind of scares me. Rubio has been playing fantastic. He's been playing absolutely great basketball. I would say Harden under for sure. Garland scares me. I feel like Garland might be one of those guys that sneaks through the cracks on the DFS slates, just because where is that usage going to go? There's really no one else to shoot the ball. Allen has a high usage. Sexton's usage is insane. And Ricky Rubio, like I said, when Ricky Rubio has his ideal night, is probably 12 points, 12 assists, right? That would be a beautiful night for Ricky Rubio. And Garland's one of the only guys who could probably score on this roster right now. Him and Chetty. Chetty would be the only other guy I like on this team in the DFS realm.
Yeah, Kevin Love is coming back, but we don't really quite know his minutes yet. I would be just looking, if I were to go under on that team, it would be complementary pieces. I would go under on Dean Wade and Isaac Okoro, guys that aren't needed for scoring. Both of those two stick out to me as two good unders that you could attack on that Cleveland team.
And what I would do if you really like those unders is just take a same game parlay and hit like 5 dudes unders, because this game could easily get to blowouts. And if Garland goes under, most likely it's going to be a game where they're not even getting 30 minutes apiece, right? Where the Nets just decide, hey, we're just going to beat the shit out of you because we played like absolute dog shit yesterday. And Steve Nash is a terrible coach, right? I hate Steve Nash. I think he's absolutely awful. Watching the game last night, he screwed so many same-game parlays for people. I felt so bad for people last night when they're down like 12 and he pulls Harden and him off the court.
Yeah.
Shit, Steph Curry's going to beat the crap out of their backups. Why are your backups in there 8 minutes left in this game?
He does that a lot. He gives up real early. I don't know if you've noticed that, like just over the course of the season. I get you have two superstars that are super high usage players, but it's weird that you wouldn't leave one of them out of there and say, listen, Harden, if you can get hot, do what you got to do, take over. If not, what happens.
Yeah, and then we'll pull you with like 4 minutes. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. But at least 8 minutes left and you have two of the top scorers in the league. Come on. Horton Tucker over 1.5 3-point made at plus 115. I think that's great. I think it's great. The Bucks do play a pack line. I would just be, I don't know. I think he has the ability to do it. It's just this Bucks team does play the 3-point line pretty well. It's just when you're looking for guys to shoot threes, it's got to be the point guard, because that's what they do with Brook Lopez all the time. If they do that, he sits back. But I don't think Talen Horton-Tucker is going to be the guy taking up the ball here very much to be able to do that. The Bucks are 12th in the league in 3-point percentage allowed against, around 33%. But, I mean, he's going to get the usage. He's going to get that there. I just think this is an Anthony Davis type of game. This screams Anthony Davis type of game with Russell Westbrook getting Drew Holiday on him. If Middleton does play, you could see Giannis guard Talen Horton-Tucker if they decide they want to go Portis on Davis, because usually what happens when the Bucks play against a good big guy is they'll throw Giannis on their second best big guy. Yeah. They won't play him on there because Giannis is very susceptible to fouling. He does it a lot on very stupid stuff. So this kind of screams like a Davis game. I think Portis guards him early. Brook Lopez still being out. Obviously, I'm a Bucks fan, but Talen Horton-Tucker should have a nice night. I just don't know if it's at the 3-point line. I think it's going to be mostly Davis inside or out there. Plus 115 is kind of crazy, though. There is definitely value on that line. Love Rashawn Holmes got worked by Isaiah Stewart. Yeah. You like Towns, points, rebounds, assists? I would play both. I think I would probably take both of them separate. I also really like the points, rebounds, assists. If you want to throw that in for a unit, I would play that. Good look. I think that was really nice. That's a crazy value.
Yeah, plus 165 feels too high for that one. I would sprinkle there and maybe hit the like 4+ on FanDuel. I bet that's like plus 400. I like to, when I do those, I kind of like if a player's going to have a breakout 3-point shooting night, it's normally not going to stop at, 2 or 3. So I like to kind of gradually sprinkle up a little bit with like 2 3-point made, 3 3-point, you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Monotone talking a little bit in my language there for my long shot play of the night there. I feel you for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Get him teed up.
Capella and Hawks money line plus 158. I mean,
yeah, I hate adding money lines.
Enough.
Yeah, I hate adding money lines. I like the Capella double part, but I don't know I don't think you're getting enough value adding the Hawks in, which should be a very competitive game. So I think the Hawks might win, but I would say this should be a little closer to plus 200 for me to like it more.
Yeah, I mean, Clint Capella double minus 110. I don't think I should only be getting 60 cents for the Hawks to win.
Yeah.
I think the spread is what? The spread is pretty damn close. Let me pull it up here. I mean,
it's probably 3 or 4, right?
The Hawks are sitting at 4.
Really?
Yeah, so
it might be because I think that guy posted the Capella double, so it might have shot that one up and messed up the odds a little. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's where Vaughn V Money, he posted the Al Horford thing in here. So I think I always love it when I see those because I don't follow that many guys, right? I follow obviously all you guys props, and I follow a bunch of other guys in the other parts of betting here. But yeah, once I see that, I usually see a lot of questions in here about their plays, and I'm like, yeah, they're pretty sharp. So I would definitely listen to their stuff. On those. A quarter under 12.5. I believe Monotone talked about that as a possible play to go to.
Yep.
THT. Yep.
I mean, we talked about that. Yeah. And then Smart, I mean, he's killing it without Jaylen Brown, right? A lot of people are on this. It's one of the more popular ones of the day. I don't see a reason not to bet it. The only thing is I'm just a little confused why it's still 4.5, right? He's hit it in every game without Jaylen Brown. It was 4.5 last game. It seems a little suspicious to me that it's still 4.5. Not that should scare you away too much, but just my opinion.
Glad to have you back. Welcome in here, Shane.
Appreciate
Good to see you. I love Brunson tonight. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be that big of a Porzingis switch. Porzingis was playing fantastic basketball, but that was because they were able to pull out that double team. I think they get double teams down tonight, and I think it's going to be a Brunson 3-point shooting type of feel for me. I think there's going to be a lot of 3 points hoisted in this game from the Hardaway side, from Brunson. Porzingis, I don't know. I just don't know. He was playing so well. He looked like second-year New York Knicks type of good. But that was with Luka, like Luka was creating stuff, right? Kristaps doesn't really create his own shot that much. It's mostly like post-ups or set up 3-point shots, and Luka kind of does the work. Brunson does the work. I don't know. I think Porzingis's numbers jumped so high. Like I was seeing like his rebounds at like 8.5, 9.5. I mean, I like it, but who's sneaky for me is Dwight Powell. I think that his numbers are super low. 5.5 rebounds is all I need from him. I think that that's a great spot. I just don't know. Porzingis, when he's the number one spot, I just don't know if that's going to be old Knicks type of Porzingis. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in a couple minutes, but I see what you mean, and I do like Brunson. Whenever one of these guys sits, he's always a sneaky under the radar guy for sure. I think that's something to look at.
Yeah, this is TGB. That guy bets right here. Yeah, Steve Nash definitely needs to go to jail. That guy is a piece of shit.
One of my favorite player, but
he's an awful coach. Awful.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot in years 1 and 2.
I like how they picked him up because Kyrie liked him, and then Kyrie says, "Fuck you, I don't like you anymore."
Yeah, that's a rough situation. That's interesting. That's an interesting play right there. I don't want to mess with the Kings rotations too much though.
It's
Plus
weird.
120 is good value, but they change a lot on a day-to-day basis. So I'll probably pass right there. But that guy Metu he doubled the other day. So I could see it, but I don't feel super strong about the.
Yeah, it's very tough to trust the Kings rotation. I don't know if he dipped out there for a second. Oh, there we go. We got you.
My
Yeah, I
bad,
don't
my
trust the
bad.
Kings rotation. I hate Luke
Yeah,
Walton. That guy is so
yeah,
unpredictable. For fantasy, I hate him.
yeah.
Brown is out for sure. He is officially ruled out. How do we feel about Christian Woods and rebounds? He's my second biggest play of the day, so I like him.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my exact thing too. Thoughts on Grayson Allen over 2.5 threes, Trey Young 2 threes, and or 15 points. I don't know. I the 3-point stuff I'd rather stay away from. I'd rather just go straight points. Trey
Yeah.
Young 2 threes. I can't imagine is much worse than Trey Young 20 points. You know what I mean? So I think I'd rather be more comfortable with him getting 20 points than trying to go for 2 threes. Because he can easily be one of those guys that gets 12 free throws from attacking.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
All right, let's get to DFS. We're moving on here. DFS value is going to start us up today. Monotone rolling with THT.
Yep, I like both of our guys right here, but THG's come back and he scored, right? He's 17 and 28 points. He had 5 assists in one of those games. AD probably will play today, which I mean that's fine. He was in those other games too, but THG's just playing well. He's the Lakers need more guys that can contribute on a regular basis. That's really what they're looking for. They got AD, they got Russ, but without LeBron, they really do need a third kind of scorer, contributor, someone that can do more than just kind of go out there and get shots created for them, right? So when you look at Malik Monk, even Carmelo Anthony to a certain extent, a lot of these kind of guys, Wayne Ellington, they need other people to create for them. But THG can create his own shot. He can attack the paint. I think it's just a pretty good matchup overall. I'm not too worried about AD like completely taking over. Like I think there's room for AD to score 30 points and THT to score 20 points, which would easily pay off his value. So it's pretty simple. I think they're going to have to keep moving him up as long as LeBron James is out because he can create his own shot and not too many other guys on that team can do that at this point.
Yeah, no, I love THT. He's already locked in my lineup. I always make my lineup overnight. So I'll make it at 11:30 before I go to bed. And then obviously all the news will come in and then I'll just kind of tweak here and there, stuff like that. That's kind of how I found the most success. THG was immediately thrown in and my boy Brunson was immediately thrown in. Obviously, it's really well known. Luka's out. He's got 23% usage rate without Luka on the court last year when Luka wasn't playing. 8-point dogs, decent total, huge pace up spot. Suns are like 7th in the league in pace. Dallas is pretty slow. I think it actually speeds up with Brunson at the helm. Luka kind of likes to run that pick and roll. Brunson just goes when he gets that chance on the second unit. I think we see a ton of run for Brunson. Even right now with Luka playing, he was around 33 minutes. Without Luka, we're going to see a lot of usage having to go somewhere else. Going to see a lot of minutes having to be picked up somewhere else. I think the Suns are a decent matchup. The Suns obviously are pretty good defensively, number 3 in defensive efficiency, but I think the pace makes up for it. I think the usage makes up for it. And I'm only paying at 6,400 or 6,500 for Brunson. I think he is insane value tonight. I think that he's a spot where we definitely have to go to be able to pay up for our big boys.
Yep. I think everything you said was right there. And just to add on, Brunson will be in every single one of my lineups tonight, right? So I'm with you. Like I'm completely with you right here.
Perfect. Easy. Nice and easy. Moving on. Trey Young makes his appearance again.
Yeah. So it's pretty simple, right? Trey Young is a guy that I think is going to score 40 points tonight. I think he probably will score 30 at minimum. He scored 30 in 4 straight games against Boston. I don't want to talk about Trey Young forever. We will probably, but I just love him tonight. And the beautiful thing is, right, I said this earlier, he's had 3 or more 3-pointers made in each of his last 6 games. But Trey Young is the kind of guy that can get here multiple ways. Trey Young will not stop attacking, right? Especially if Bogdan is out, especially if Herder, I believe, also is a game time decision. Like some of these guys, if they sit out, Trey Young could be in for some crazy usage. So obviously Trey Young is their leading scorer on the season. I don't need to tell you any more than I already have about that. But just how many different ways he can get there, how many different ceiling performances Boston keeps giving up to point guards. It's just I love Trey Young tonight, and I can't afford to not play him. It feels like he's got to be in all my lineups. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a fun night there. I love Christian Wood. Talked about him forever. Yep. I mean, if you guys see us talking about guys this much, just plug and play them. Like I said, if it's a blowout, the Rockets probably will get their team demoted to the G League maybe. I don't think they belong in the NBA if they get blown out by the Thunder. You got to remember, Christian Wood blew these guys out last time. They won by 30.
Yep.
They beat the Thunder by 30. If they if they beat them by anything, if they stay close, if they score 100 points, Christian Wood is going to pay off his value. He's 7,300 on FanDuel and is power forward center eligible.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's value right there. Power forward is probably the weakest position always, right? When you have guys that are able to play at both spots, he's going to give you center type of production at the power forward position. Love it, love it, love it. Curry, questionable. Yes, I did see that. Thanks, guys. Good luck on your bets. Thank you so much. I think we're ready. I think we're ready for our long shots. Remember, guys, get your comments
of the week.
Yep. Get your questions in quick if you have them, because this is our last segment of the show here. And we see him again, huh?
Yep, Trey Young, top point scorer, plus 425. I actually got burned on this a couple of days ago. I've just been playing more long shots recently because it's kind of made me realize there's a lot of value in these NBA long shots, right? If you look at football, right? If you look at a wide receiver to have 50 yards and it's minus 110, 60 yards is going to be plus 110, 70 yards is going to be plus 180. It doesn't increase that much. But when you see a guy like Trey Young, whose points are already implied at 25, which is the second highest in the game, I believe, to Jason Tatum, and we're getting plus 425 for that. I'll take that every day of the week. I had Jokic the other day coming off of his revenge game after the 1-game suspension. And unfortunately, Young was playing from behind and did end up overtaking the top point scorer. But Young has had so many ceiling performances. And when you want a top point scorer, the reason his average is only at 25 is because he does have a couple of those games that are at 16 points, at 17 points. But then he also has plenty of 30-plus point games this season. And yeah, Jason Tatum is probably his biggest competition. But if you guys noticed, he's been ice cold recently. And Dennis Schroeder's been scoring pretty much 20 points a game in every single game except one without Jaylen Brown this season, averaging around 18 points per game. And I think he actually probably is the guy that'll score 20 points again tonight. So I've Tatum projected around 27 points tonight. And Trey Young around 32 points tonight. So a 5-point difference. I think he'll be the top point scorer. And to get this at plus 425, I think is great value. I don't think you could ask for much better.
Yeah. Giving me a 4-1 chance on the guy who's going to take probably the most shots in this game. I love it. One quick story. I don't want to take more than an hour, but I have to tell you my story. I was at the Marquette game when they played Illinois 2 days ago. Unbelievable game.
Upset,
absolutely
right?
Fantastic. It was unbelievable. And I'm looking at my phone, and I had Cade Cunningham, top point scorer, plus 800 on Monday against the Kings. he was winning. He was up. He was at 25. Every king was pulled because they were up 27. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing Detroit put in Sadiq Bey. What the fuck? You're up 26 or you're down 26. Why are you bringing a starter in? Sadiq Bey hits a layup on the backups of the Kings and then hits a three and scores 27. The worst beat I've ever seen. Like, why are you playing him? You're down 26, dude. It was 800, 8-1, and he had it, dude. That was my coming out party for Cade, too. I should have just played him to score 25. But 8-1 just screamed my name, and I took it, and that happened. So that was just my top point score story. But
brutal. That's so brutal.
We'll get to this because I've seen him post it twice. I really don't think they pulled too many guys. I don't really even know what their backups are going to play because most of the backups are already playing, you know? I think Chetty gets his 32. Maybe Garland is the only guy I think that really sits. Maybe Rubio.
Yeah, Garland probably. I don't even know if Rubio sits. Probably. I mean, they run such a tight rotation, right? I don't know if you guys. I mean, Kevin Love is the obvious guy. Yep. Kevin Love is the obvious guy. This guy, I probably have Kevin Love projected around 22 minutes tonight. In his first game back, if they're losing by 20 points, then he probably only gets like 12, 13 minutes, something like that. But yeah, I would say the other guy you got there is correct. I think Garland is probably the only guy that really sits out.
All right, guys, getting to the last one. My long shot. We hit it last week at 1,100, 11-1. We're going to a 23-1 play here tonight. 23-1, and I'm going back to my guy who has made me so much damn money this past week in Cade Cunningham. Same game parlay, Malcolm Brogdon, Cade Cunningham to both hit 4 threes. Okay. Obviously, very high number. Brogdon, I think, hasn't hit this. Let me check the Brogdon has not hit this year. Has not hit this year. But it is not because he is not shooting them. Okay. He's 8 for 29 in his last 5 games on 3. So that's 6 threes a game. Okay. So he's going to give you volume there. Even when he's missing, he's gone 2 for 7, 3 for 7, 2 for 7. Right. So even when he's missing, he's still attempting them. Right. And now we're in the same game here with Cunningham and Brogdon. And these two teams are 2 of the 4 worst against the 3-point shot. Detroit allows a 41.2% from deep. Indiana allows 37.1% from deep. And we're going to see a lot of 3-point shots popped up in this game. Cunningham has been averaging over 7 threes attempted. And what we've been seeing, right, is he has been cooking, man. He's hit 5 threes in 3 of his last 6 games. He's been insane, absolutely insane. And the thing is Brogdon is due for regression. That is the reason why this line is so high. Is Cunningham to hit 4, I believe, is plus 360, but Brogdon is like 450 on FanDuel. And the reason why I'm seeing this and the reason why I think this is going to happen tonight is Brogdon, when he played for the Bucks, was a 90. He was 90, 50, 40, I believe. It's shooting 40% from 3. He was one of the only guys ever. Him and Middleton were both pushing for it in the same year, which is, you don't see that. And when I'm seeing Malcolm Brogdon in the month of November shooting 27% from 3, positive regression is due. And why would I not think it would happen against the worst team against the 3? If Brogdon hits his 4, I am very happy and very confident that I am putting 23-1 on Cunningham to hit 4 threes because that man is going to sit there and shoot. And Cunningham did play in that game down 24. They were running him. So if he gets backup minutes against like backup players, Cunningham to hit 4, I think has very good value at plus 360. And Brogdon against the worst defensive 3-point team in the league. And he's due for that positive regression. I love this spot. 23-1, man. I think this is beautiful. I love this spot. I think that this is another spot where we're just like grabbing this value that is just insane. Trey Young to be a top point scorer, 4-1. What the hell? 4.5 to 1 for Brogdon to hit 4 threes on the worst 3-point shooting team. Like those are just screaming odds at us. And I think we have absolutely insane value on these.
Yep. Yeah, I tried to guess the odds before the game started, and I said, or before the stream started, I said 11-1 is my guess on what that would be. So, like looking at box scores for ceiling performances is dumb, right? The reason, okay, I don't want to say that, but I'm saying like how like the situation matters a lot more than what the player has done in previous games. If it was as easy as saying, oh, this guy had 30 points last game, he'll have 30 points again tonight, we'd all be rich. But it's not. Guys have spike performances, and all I look for is attempts. I'm a huge volume over efficiency guy, and when we see that Brogdon isn't shooting very well, but he keeps shooting, it's because we know he wants to get hot again. So I'm loving it. I think we're getting good odds right here. I think this is at least worth, $10, $20, like
Yeah,
why
dude.
not?
I threw 25 on it, and I'm winning like 575, 560. I'm like,
Yep.
come on, man. You're giving me that type of
Yep.
value on a guy who I know is going to shoot. Duarte is questionable, hasn't played the last few games. That's more usage going his way. Karis LeVert's been looking okay, but not like how good he was with the Nets. Brogdon's definitely getting the most usage. And that pick and pop, if Detroit doesn't want to give up 75 points to Domantas Sabonis, he's going to be open from three because they're going to run that pick and pop. And if you leave Brogdon all day, and it's very easily, if Detroit's stupid enough, Sabonis could have 60 points tonight. Quite possible.
Yeah. I mean, especially Isaiah Stewart might foul out in like the first 10 minutes. And then after that, we've got Luke Garza out there. That would be brutal. But let's hope that doesn't happen.
Without Luka Doncic in the league, Luka Garza is the best Luka on the slate tonight. He almost doubled in 13 minutes. The dude's finds a way. I love that shit. I got this one on a same game parlay at FanDuel, throwing in 4+ 3-pointers made. That's where I got that line. Where did you find the top score bet? That's DraftKings, I think.
Yeah, it's DraftKings, and FanDuel normally offers it in select games, at least closer to game time. So hopefully FanDuel puts that up too.
Yeah, so I'll actually share my screen here because I have that exact thing pulled up because once you played it, I pulled mine up there to get it. So I'll share it here. We're seeing Trey Young still 425 here. We are on FanDuel under player props. Oh, that's first field goal.
It should be right next to it.
Yeah, it should be right up here. Where I literally just had it. Damn, dude. I just had it on here. Where did I go? Wow, I'm losing it. I'm losing it, dude. What the hell?
Yeah. So it's
dude, I'm falling
right?
apart, man. I think I'm getting too hyped.
Yeah.
But damn, 30 points each plus 750. Bro, that might hit.
I was gonna say, are we adding more to the
that might be my ad.
Docket?
That's my ad.
I might have to too, honestly. While we're all here, that's a little treat right here.
750
I'm
for Tatum.
I'm in.
Ooh.
I'm in.
I'm down too.
I mean, both of them are gonna shoot 20 times, so
beautiful. Well, let's do our quick recap and then we'll dip out of here. Perfectly timed at an hour. We got this down to a T. Doesn't matter. We missed a couple weeks. We're still back and easily right on pace right away. Let's go with yours first, Monotone. What we got?
Yep, my first rebounds assist prop of the year. It's going to be Beal over 9.5 rebounds and assists for half a unit. And then you heard us talk about him all day long. Trey Young over 24.5 points at -110.
Obviously, top DFS.
Trey Young
again.
Top point scorer, Trey Young one more time. And then if you forgot the value, that was Talon Horton-Tucker of the Lakers.
We're rolling Christian Wood, 1.5 units over 29.5 points, rebounds, over 34.5 points, rebounds for my boy Karl Anthony Towns. Christian Wood gets my top DFS spot with Jalen Brunson taking the top value. And my long shot is Malcolm Brogdon, Cade Cunningham, both to hit 4 threes. Yeah, I love it. And yeah, it doesn't look like we have any questions. Sometimes it's states wide. Mine's in Illinois. I have this at. So sometimes it might be states, but I know they always have the top point scorer. I know on Bet Rivers they have it all the time. over there.
Yeah, the other thing too is with these markets that they take little to no action on, sometimes it just takes like 10 people and they suspend it, sadly. Alt lines and top point scorers, sometimes they suspend them. So I'll keep you guys posted on Twitter if I see it pop up again or something like that. I'll make sure to check after.
Perfect. All right. This is what we're going out with right here. His kids haven't eaten in weeks. We're ready to fucking win some money tonight, boys. Pass the Prop NBA edition. Week 4 is coming out here ready to make some money. We're about to make Andrew's kids some freaking filet mignon tonight. Hit that shit. We're about to get this. Dude, your kid's about to gain 30 pounds. That's how much we're about to make tonight. That's how I'm feeling about this slate. So,
there you go.
All right, guys.
I couldn't have said it any better.
All right, guys. We will see you on Friday for our NFL edition. Looking forward to having a great night again here on Pass the Prop NBA edition. We will see you Friday, according to Trevor, and me and my boy Monotone will be back and better than ever for NFL week 11 already. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But we will be back and ready to cash for you guys. So drop a like if you guys haven't yet. Make sure you go follow Monotone on Twitter at his Monotone Football here.
Yep, there you go.
Across over there. Make sure you guys get it over there. And yeah, let's have a night. Hopefully we're able to recap tonight with a freaking full sweep, hitting those long shots and everything. So thank you guys so much. You got anything for the people, Monotone, before we head out?
No, I just appreciate you guys coming back. I'm excited to have the camera fixed, not on my phone next time. I apologize for that one. So yeah, I'm excited to turn around and get back into some NFL action. That'll be awesome.
Beautiful. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you in 2 days. Have a good one. Peace.